And recognizing members of the legislation, administration that are present.
Mayor Jamie Slutes. Safety Service Director Renee Baker. City Engineer Alex Pitts. Director of Development Ted Hernkane. Fire Chief Matthew Heck. And Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron. Is there anyone I missed from administration? That's it, President Pro Tem.
Thank you, Diane. Let the record show tonight we're missing Julie Harwig-Smith, Eric Ray, and Councilman Markham. And with that, let's start off with community development.
Thank you, Mr. Gregg. I have three requests of old business. The first is the proposed community development block grant program budget for the 2025 program year. We discussed this. It's approximately total CDBG activities and programs, a dollar amount of $752,222. There's going to be a second public hearing that is scheduled here Monday, April 28th at 6 p.m. here in City Chambers. With that piece, we'll wait for the second meeting, and then we'll bring it forward at the following meeting. The second item of business is the rezoning of 2240 17th Street Southwest. This is a 4-acre parcel located on the east side of 17th Street Southwest between Fine Frock Road and Pigeon Run Avenue. The zone change is from R1 single-family residential to A1 agricultural. The property owners are wanting this zoning to keep animals accordance to our codes. There has been a change. After I announced that there's going to be a public hearing on May 12th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers, speaking with Diane, we could not get the notification out in time to meet that deadline, so we have changed the public hearing to May 19th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. Any questions regarding that item? And then the last item I have is transferring 13.427 acres of Outlot 681, currently owned by the City of Massillon, to the Massillon Community Improvement Corporation, the CIC, for purpose of economic development. The CIC will then sell said property to Massillon Energy and Technology Park for $1. Massillon Energy and Technology Park will then donate parcel number 617095, 11.28 acre vacant parcel to the City of Massillon, contingent on environmental studies of the parcel. Anyone have questions, additional comments to be with regarding this item?
I do. On the parcel swap, do we still have any idea of what they intend to do with the parcel that the city would, in a sense, sell for $1?
Well, let's ask Mr. Hernkane if he can come up and answer any questions regarding this.
Good evening, Council, Mrs. Kramer, Councilman Packley. They intend to replat their surrounding area that they already own with that, and then use it for industrial development purposes, yes, to sell it or lease it to a company to attract jobs.
Okay, so they don't have any dream or idea that they want to do, it's just to group parcels together?
Correct. We own an island kind of right in the middle of their property, and it makes sense for them to have it, just like it makes sense for us to have the parcel they want to give us to the south of that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
Mr. Hernkane, should the environmental studies come back poorly, is it back to the drawing board or null and void, or?
Should the environmentals come back, there's varying degrees of poor. We'd have to see what it looks like. I do know that they have had some environmentals, at least a phase one on that whole site done probably within the last 18 months. I don't have any reason to believe that it is in poor condition. We need to look at that phase one, and if we need to update it, they will do so. Should it come back with any type of pollutants or anything that could not be remediated easily, we would probably just pass on accepting that donation. Thank you. Thank you.
That's all I have for community development, Mr. Gregg.
Thank you, Councilman Kramer. Move on to economic development. John, you're the only member of that committee. Is there anything under economic development?
I don't believe so at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to health, welfare, and building regulations, Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. Nothing at this time.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis.
Yes. I just wanted to bring up, I apologize for my absence last week, but there was one of the matters that was addressed at the council meeting. I intended to be here last minute, I couldn't make it, or I would have brought this up last week. The one that dealt with the state of vehicles and being able to be maintained in driveways and how we do that when someone is doing a project of some sort. One concern I have is the lack of the word inoperable that is not in there now. And that is because in my experience on council, we've had numerous places throughout the city where a vehicle would be in a driveway, obviously in a state of disrepair, tarps on it, and just sitting there, and there's nothing we can do from an enforcement standpoint the way it's written. From my understanding, we went back to the way the law had always been instead of doing the recommendation from IPMC. I know there's some debate there that there might be some time frame, so I've asked the administration to please send me what is currently in place based off of last week's vote, and then also send me what the IPMC recommendation is, just so I can see it side by side again. But my intention is to most likely at next council meeting just to ask for a motion to reconsider that particular issue and just leave the IPMC in place and then have continued conversation if it needs to be refined to meet the needs. I think, but leaving inoperable vehicles, in my opinion, just is an eyesore and not something we really want in our communities. So I just wanted to state my intention.
Mr. Packley?
Yes, thank you.
Councilman?
With that note, can we get that emailed to us like soon, not on Monday morning, not Monday before? Can we have that?
You can extend that to everybody, not just me?
We'll send it
today and tomorrow. Okay,
All right,
perfect.
thank you. Yeah, that just, so it's not last minute.
And yeah, so I just want to make sure we do it right, but, you know, I would like to revert, personally, I'll make a motion to reconsider so we can revert to IPMC because it's a little bit more strict, and that way we can be on the safe side of community and then refine. So, that's it.
Anybody else? All right, thank you. Councilman Lewis?
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman Cunningham. Next, Parks and Recreation. Councilwoman Harvick Smith's not here. Is there anything from another member of the committee?
I do not believe so. There's nothing for Parks and Recs.
All right, thank you. Next, Police and Fire. Councilman Markham's not here. Anything that either Councilman Packley or Councilman Lewis are aware of? Okay. Next, move on to Public Utilities and Environmental. Councilwoman Holly Bryan Huth.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. We have two pieces. One is a piece that we had first reading on last week that I'll be reading again and then bringing up for vote. And it is regarding the sealed bids for the Wellman, Medill, and Commonwealth Avenue sewer improvements that we discussed at last work session. And then the next piece is a new piece brought to us today. It is to prepare an ordinance to authorize the Director of Public Service and Safety to advertise for and receive sealed bids and enter into contract with the lowest and best bidder upon the approval of the Board of Control for the Federal Sluice Gate Replacement Project. Would anyone like Mr. Pitts to come up and speak to us on this? We talked about it a little bit before. These are the great big gates at the river. Where's Alex? Yeah. Great big gates at the river that need replaced. A must-have. Anybody have questions for Alex? No? All right, we'll bring it forward on Monday. That's all I have for public utilities.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brian Huth. Next, we have Rules and Courts, which is my committee. One piece of old business, ordinance number 19-2025. We discussed it, or it was brought up for first reading the last meeting. It's ordinance amending the occupation list of class titles 610 to 615 wastewater treatment in the city of Massillon, Ohio, by establishing and creating the position of safety officer and establishing the class grade schedule for said position within the 610-615 wastewater treatment. As I said, we gave it first reading last week. My intention would be to bring it, I'm sorry, I won't be at the next meeting, so I will not be bringing it forward for a vote. Any discussion? This is does not have emergency language. Any questions or discussion? Councilman Creamer.
Did we receive a job description for this position as previously requested?
I have not. Mr. Pitts? I
I may have overlooked that. Did the rest of the council
Yeah,
read
me
it?
too.
I don't recall receiving an email regarding that. I don't. Because there were two, and the one was pulled.
Yes.
And this,
Good evening, council. I believe Diane's checking really quick. Pretty sure I sent it though, so. While she's checking, did we have any other questions?
Mr. Gregg,
Yes, Mr. Packley.
do we know how many employees are employed at the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes, I'm gonna actually request Dave Henderson to come on up,
Okay,
because he can speak
okay, perfect.
better too.
Oh, I introduce myself to you, or?
I'll double check mine too.
If I'd have known that was you, I'd have had a good chit chat with you.
So, yeah, we have, I'm Dave Henderson, by the way. I'm the plant maintenance supervisor. I've been down at the wastewater plant for 30 years. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I don't usually do this. So we have 33 employees down there. I do have a organizational chart. If anybody's interested, I can leave that. You can get a copy. I also do have a copy of the job description here. If she can't find that, we can make that happen for you as well.
Okay, fine. That was my question, how many employees, because last time they didn't know, it was 30 or 50, it wasn't known at that time.
Yep.
So,
We'll go ahead.
Sure.
Mrs. Cunningham, did you have a question?
Yeah, but it doesn't pertain to this. It's something else with the city.
Okay. Councilman Brian Huth.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. For the, you said you have the job description, and we'll review that once we all have a copy. So the safety officer, thank you, will help relay the education to the staff and the members at the wastewater treatment plant, but also ensure machinery is working correctly. Is that part of it as well?
Yes, they will look into the safety aspects of all the different pieces of equipment in the facility. We have a lot of equipment. Yeah, that'll be part of it.
So it's not just a safety personnel to personnel?
No.
It's the whole
it's
plant
facility-wide,
measuring
Also-
outcomes in liquids and fluids and things?
yes. Yep. Also the collection system, which is all the sanitary sewer system out throughout the city. The folks that are involved in doing the cleaning and upkeep of that division, they'll be responsible for training and safety with them as well.
and whatever licenses and certificates that the entire plant needs up on those as well, in those giant binders that we saw last time. Thank you.
Sorry. I have another, sorry.
Councilman Packley?
Thank you. Also, so currently, who handles your lockout, tagout, or confined space entry, or,
That's me.
okay, so you do the confined space entry?
We do an annual training. We do half of the staff. You're only required to do that one time, but we do it every other year with each person, just so that everybody stays current, and any changing policy procedure that would go along with that. Lockout, tag out, I do all the training on that for all the employees.
Do you have chlorine there?
We do liquid chlorine, no chlorine gas.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right.
We do have ferric chloride as well, and there are different polymers that we use. So there are some hazardous chemicals that are on site, and that would be part of their requirement as well, to have that program put in place.
The ferric chloride, use that to precipitate out the solids, is that?
It's to help take out the phosphorus that's in the water, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Councilwoman Creamer?
How do you envision this new position, working alongside you and the plant manager? How do you envision day-to-day operations, with this
Well,
being implemented?
We want to
if
make it
passed?
better, obviously, than what we have now. There's just not enough hours in the day to do everything that need to be done, to update all of our programs, to continually monitor the OSHA, the BWC, PERP, all the different entities that have regulations that we have to abide by. We want that person to become as educated as they possibly can. They're kind of going to be a standalone. We are going to work with them, but they will be the enforcement. They will bring forth any concerns that they have for review. We do a monthly safety meeting with the administrative staff, and then we have a weekly safety meeting with all staff to discuss any of those kind of issues that occur down there. So they'll be the ones that will focus their time towards correcting and taking care of those types of issues.
So until I want to look at that organizational chart. So if they identify citation, do they bring that citation to you, or do they bring it to the staff one-on-one and have those conversations with staff to remedy it? How does that look?
If they're in the facility and they notice that somebody's not following the proper PPE or procedure, then it would be up to them to have that conversation up front. Any of the retraining or any of that would have to obviously be approved through the plant manager, Tony. He would be the one to say, yeah, we got to move forward with this, and then that person would go forward and take care of whatever needed to happen.
So they will have the authority to approach employees and ask them to change the behavior or
Absolutely.
make the difference?
Yep.
Okay, and if that doesn't occur, then they would bring that to you to ensure that it's done?
Yep.
Since they report to you or to the plant manager, depending on who they report to?
They'll be reporting directly to Tony.
Okay.
I'll be working alongside them, assisting in any way that I can. And Tony will probably have me be part of the supervision side of it to help give them the authority to do their job. I would assume. We'll see.
Thank you. Just so there's clear defined expectations.
Sure.
Usually when you're bringing in a new position, it can kind of, staff doesn't know who they report to and who has authority to approach them, especially with these types of things. So thank you.
Yes.
Councilwoman Brian Huth?
Thank you, President Pro Tem. I had a question back to the budget, or this position being budgeted for. So it was approved in August of '24, so it's been in the budget for that long. The monies are there. So the monies that haven't been used thus far are part of the carryover that we just reappropriated recently, in theory? No?
Yeah, no, so, the monies that we use, that are coming from the carryover, that's completely separate, yeah, so.
But these monies are sitting there that haven't been used since.
Yes, correctly.
Since it was
It
approved.
should be in the salary line item at the plant, so.
So in going forward, it's been budgeted for '25, different and away from any kind of capital monies that have just been approved for regarding the increase in the fees of the sewer, the sanitary and the storm sewer that were just passed.
I'm sorry, say that again? I'm sorry.
So when you're budgeting, this has already been budgeted before the capital program was brought to us in the fall.
Correct, yes.
For improvements. So this is a separate item.
Correct.
That was already existing in the budget.
Correct.
Thank you.
Some redundancy. Councilman Creamer?
Just looking at this chart, are all these positions filled, or are the titles of some of these positions, like one individual holds multiple titles? So do we have a plant maintenance superintendent and a plant maintenance supervisor?
Yeah.
So here's a structure, but we don't have all the positions filled?
Not every position, no, so you actually you're superintendent now, correct? You work,
Yeah, I was plant maintenance supervisor and promoted to plant maintenance superintendent.
Yeah.
It's the steps that you can move forward. You become licensed, accredited, all the different things to be able to move forward. Not all those positions will be filled at any given time.
Okay.
I can,
Yeah, I just kind of glanced, and I'm like, okay, I couldn't recall, I thought it was a supervisor, but I'm sorry, you're the superintendent. Okay, just because there's multiple positions, like there's an operational superintendent, and then we have, other positions, like chief plant operator, so.
yeah. So that's a union position. That's, in charge of all of the operators at the plant, so, yep, I mean,
Thank you.
Other questions? All right, thank you, gentlemen. Nope.
I do have a
Mrs. Cunningham?
question. Yeah, thank you, Pro Tem. Mr. Pitts, I've noticed downtown, there's a lot of orange barrels going on south on Lincoln Way. Will that be going on when, from Third Street on to Lincoln Way, it's going to be worked on as well? Are they going to be the same time?
so that project is just a signalization upgrade project. It's from first to first. So it's basically upgrading the span wire signal heads to mast arms at those two intersections.
Oh, there's no digging going on?
There will be a minor digging for the conduit, so to run the electric. Depending on the contractor's means and methods, they may find it more beneficial to bore, or they may find it more beneficial to open dig. We don't want to have any open digging across Lincoln Way, because then we would have a temporary shutdown of Lincoln Way. So they're going to have to bore underneath Lincoln Way. But along the sidewalk, I would believe, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to do an open trench. It's a sidewalk, so long as pedestrians can still get by.
And when do you think the Lincoln Way over the viaduct will start?
Either late this month or early next. So that's an ODOT project. We had gone to the pre-con and they had stated like early April, but I haven't heard anything since. So I would imagine it's probably going to be late April, early May, but it is happening soon, so.
Okay, thank you.
Before we go, speaking of what Mrs. Cunningham brought up, the entire sidewalk in front of Margaritas and those shops in that block is gone. Is that what you're talking about? It was removed. Is that for the?
That is for, yes, so that's to run the conduit. So there's also going to be additional street lighting.
Right.
Way down a little past McDonald's area.
Okay.
Not on the south side, because it'll end like at that building there.
That's all part of this project.
Yes, correct.
Right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep, thank you.
Moving on to finance, Councilman Lewis. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have anything in my packet, so I skipped it. Anything from streets and highways?
Nothing for the streets.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis?
Thank you. Sorry for the technicality.
Good evening, Council.
Just wondering if you could give us a little bit of insight on what's going on. I mean, because it's kind of early for us to be already having it at this point, you know?
Yeah, this is early, earlier than I expected. So a couple things have changed this year from a historical value of what we usually do to try and budget. One, the comp versus pay has shifted significantly. Historically, we've been 70%, 30% comp earned versus pay. This year, we're running about 50-50.
So guys are taking the pay over just taking the.
Taking
flex
no
back.
pay over the comp, and we're still running short.
Okay. Do we see a relief valve in sight of as far as coverage? I know you have guys out on injury or
So-
whatever.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a couple back from injury leave here pretty soon. We're in the process of a hiring process to fill 2 vacancies, although we're going to have another one on April 21st, which creates a 3rd vacancy. So we're working to fill those vacancies through the hiring process at this time. And then we are researching and looking at other options on how to move forward and curtail some of this.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The next thing I have here is a transfer. It's a street department transfer. They're going to reduce accumulated sick by $60,000, putting it into street department equipment, and this is to purchase 2 plow truck chassis. Any question? Plow truck chassis. That is all I have, Mr. Gregg.
Thank you, Councilman Lewis. If there's nothing further,
President Pro Tem,
yes.
I believe I did email this, but Councilman Ostenslager did respond to receiving our resolution number 6, and we'll take it under consideration down in Columbus.
I did see that.
Okay.
Thank you. Mrs. Brian Huth.
Thank you. Diane, could you add the special public hearings to the online calendar?
Sure,
Thank you.
both of them.
Thank you. Anything else? And we are adjourned. Thank you.